Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing really great and ready for another video. So, ghosts, souls, the veil, limbo, the afterlife. What happens when you die in the world of Harry Potter? Basically, what is the afterlife like? What does it consist of? Are there certain things that can or can't happen for you in the afterlife based on the decisions you make while in the world of the living? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about all things afterlife in the wizarding world to help give you guys a better and clearer understanding of how things work when one passes over to the other side. This is one of the most interesting videos I've ever worked on, so make sure to watch it the whole way through and leave me a comment on any further questions you may have in relation to the topic. So with that being said everyone, get yourself comfy, put your feet up and enjoy today's video from Harry Potter Folklore. Okay everyone, let's get started. So, what happens when you die in the wizarding world? What is the afterlife and what is it like? Well guys, I'm really going to do my absolute best to give you the clearest and most understandable information on this quite difficult topic. Now I've searched for videos on YouTube about the wizarding afterlife and I found absolutely nothing. So you could say this is a Harry Potter YouTube topic debut by me, because I'm just that good. LOL, lol. That's a joke for all you serious people who'll probably be offended by my humorous attempt of self-praise because, well, this is 2020, a time where everything and anything pisses people off. But anyway, let's continue, and most importantly, let's be serious. Okay guys, so the afterlife is a place where wizards and witches go when they die. Now I'm not going to include muggles and I'm not going to bring religion into it either. This is strictly based on the inhabitants of the magical world. The soul of the person travels to Limbo before making their permanent journey to their final resting place. So let's look at dying first. Now, it's apparent that the person has a choice to remain a ghost on Earth for eternity or to move on. Now, ghosts in the wizarding world are quite peculiar, as in they seem to have a lot of weight on their shoulders from their previous life and still have grievances. The Bloody Baron, for example, murdered his beloved Helena Ravenclaw and sentenced himself to a life of penance as a ghost. Helena Ravenclaw herself, still bitter towards her mother even in death, chose to remain on Earth, most likely to continue learning as she was desperate to outdo her mother. She could even be seen attending classes and studying. Then we have the Fat Friar, despite using his magic to help the sick, was murdered by his peers for his unnatural abilities and also has a serious resentment towards those who did him harm. And even nearly headless Nick, terrified of the afterlife, chose to remain as a ghost for eternity, but he was well liked by the students. So as you can see, ghosts still feel like they have something to offer the world of the living, even if it is for selfish reasons. They can, however, if they wish, pass through the veil and onto the other side where they'll wait in limbo until they're ready. Now that's the next two things I want to talk about, the veil and limbo. So what's going on with the veil? It seems as if it's an open doorway between the world of the living and the world of the dead, or the afterlife. How did it get there? Who put it there? Or was it a natural occurrence? Those are questions that I don't think will ever be answered unless J.K. Rowling speaks out and addresses it, which doesn't look like it's ever going to happen. What we do know is that it's a one-way door you can pass through, but you can't come back. From what I understand with the case of Sirius Black, he was knocked through the veil by Bellatrix Lestrange, not by the killing curse, but by an offensive spell. He was knocked through it while he was alive, and passed over into the afterlife. It seems rather strange that the Ministry wouldn't better conceal such a dangerous structure. It's basically a pathway straight to death. When one does pass through the veil or dies, their soul enters limbo for a certain period of time. Limbo is real, but is created from the person in question's memories and life values, meaning it's different for everyone. The person will then choose if they wish to say goodbye to their previous life on Earth with everyone they knew, and move on to the afterlife, which is described as an incredibly peaceful place, or return to Earth as a ghost for all eternity. That's pretty much all we know about Limbo, is that the person gets the choice as long as their soul is whole. Now, the soul is a different aspect completely. The only way to enter the afterlife is with a soul that is completely intact. A broken or split soul means that the person will not be able to move on from Limbo. Remember, Limbo is different for everyone. The afterlife and the world of the living were all created by the universe for its inhabitants of nature. To kill someone before their time is the biggest violation of nature a person can do. The punishment is that their soul will be torn in two, denying them a place in the afterlife. Only severe remorse can piece the soul back together again. The irony of restoring the soul is that the pain is so bad it can actually kill the person, which means they can now enter the afterlife, but at the cost of their life in the world of the living. Now, that's very rare cases, however. The soul is normally restored without any severeness. So let's go back to the rare cases for a moment and talk about Lord Voldemort, Tom Riddle. Now, Tom created a Horcrux, which meant storing the broken off piece of his soul in an object, tying him to the earth, meaning he could never leave the world of the living. He'd be there permanently in his full human form too. As long as the object remained intact, Voldemort was immortal. Now, doing this 7 times as he planned originally would ensure he'd never ever have to suffer nature's repercussions for defiling its beings before their time. But if he did die, if it all went wrong, which it did, he'd suffer a horrific fate. And he did. That was Tom Riddle's punishment for his crimes, and to this day, in the Wizarding World timeline that is, he's still a half a being in agony somewhere in Limbo. Now, the soul is a pretty powerful entity. It is basically everything the person was during their time alive, but in a more spiritual form. When in the afterlife, one can still have feelings and display emotion. When Harry used the Resurrection Stone, Remus displayed his deep disappointment that he would not be able to get to know his son. And speaking of the Resurrection Stone, what kind of connection to the afterlife had this unique object got? It's the only one of the Deathly Hallows that seems to have deeper properties or deeper connections than the other two. I mean, the wand was made from a Thestral tail hair, and the cloak most likely from Thestral's skin, but the stone just doesn't fit. I think it had something to do with the veil. My guess, and this is just a guess, is that it is a fragment from the veil itself, like part of the structure that Cadmus Peverell manipulated through magical scientific practice to reverse the original concept of the veil. But that's just my take on it, and I'm sure it's a lot more complicated than that. I don't know about the Resurrection Stone, guys. I used to think that it came from a Thestral too at one point. I even made a video on it theorising that it came from a Thestral's heart. I think I was kind of way off on that one. All we know is that it's the only point of communication with those who have passed over. Now, the afterlife itself, as a place, is indescribable in terms of detail and appearance. Those who are residing there are still in a spiritualized version of their human form. However, I can't imagine them having their own version of the world they used to be a part of. Anyway everyone, with that being said, that is my video explanation on the afterlife of the Wizarding World. As I said at the beginning of the video, please leave any further questions you have on the afterlife in the comment section below, and I'll do my very best to answer them. I just want to highlight that comments do grow in the hundreds, so I'll be answering the earliest comments I see. Thanks again for watching, have a great day, and always remember to be kind and be happy. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. Everyone, notifications of uploads are more important than ever. So please, if you haven't already, turn those notifications on to make sure you're notified the moment my video goes live. Making videos is what I love to do. It's my dream and my passion. However, it does cost time and money to produce this content. So if you have $1 to spare to support me on Patreon in exchange for some exclusive unseen content, then you can click the Patreon link below or at the end of this video. Please only support me if you can afford it. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at InstaDNJ and on Twitter at PotterFolklore Check out my other videos appearing on screen, and please make sure, most importantly, to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again everyone, and please have a great day.